Hello, I'm Maisie Adam, and I'm joined by my co-host, Tom Lucy.
Hello.
And a warm welcome to That's a First, the podcast where we talk about our first experiences of everything and anything.
From first pet.
To first death threat.
From first kiss.
To first cancer scare.
Maybe your first kiss was your first death threat.
And maybe your first pet was your first kiss.
In each episode, we'll be joined by different guests who will talk us through 3 of their firsts. One from their career, one from growing up, and one from, well, we don't know where from. It's going to be a lucky dip.
Very exciting. This week, we're joined by the brilliant comedian, Olga Koch.
Hello!
Hello, Olga. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks
you
for
so
coming
much for
on.
having me.
How you doing?
I'm incredibly flattered. I hope I...
Well, you
to
should
have
be.
you.
You're very lucky to be here. Alan Sugar said no, so
Yeah.
we thought, who's the next best?
I think you accidentally invited me and then we were too embarrassed to backtrack.
Exactly. Yeah, we're like, I'm really sorry, guys.
The
Olga
message did
said
say,
yes.
hello, Alan.
Yes, so you've prepared some firsts for us.
Yes, I have.
Wonderful.
Per the brief.
And we don't know what they are.
We don't know what they are. That's the thrill of the podcast.
This is
It's
exciting.
exciting,
And
right?
feel free to go off on any sort of tangents about things that
Is
like
this geometry
these firsts
class?
might-
Because she's going off on it.
Maisie,
Wow.
she's wearing
We're
a
there.
leopard print. She's here to win.
You're
were telling
actually
us
the
you
only
always
person
wear
not
leopard
wearing
print.
leopard print.
Yeah, I'm
today,
the only
Tom,
one not
so-
wearing leopard print. I didn't get the email about the leopard print.
I think it's kind of like a visual pheromone. Do you know what I mean? Like trying to get the animal instincts out of
I
whoever
like
I'm
it.
talking to.
What's a pheromone? Am I the only one who
It's like
doesn't know
the
what that means?
smell that makes you want to have sex with a person.
Oh, we've gone straight in. This is great.
No, but I mean like, and I think
My first pheromone.
I don't know if they do this anymore, but like I think back in the 90s they used to like advertise body sprays as in like full of pheromones, and like
What?
Axe allegedly has pheromones
Like
in
Lynx
it.
Africa.
Yeah. That's like Pheromone City. Yeah.
So they'd be
That's
like,
the
this
opposite of
body
pheromone,
spray
isn't it?
will get you laid. People
Yeah.
will want to have sex with you because of this body spray.
I mean, I don't know if it's actually scientifically true, but I think
It's
that was
working,
the market.
Olga. It's working.
I wake up the animal in them.
I love it. I love it.
Okay, so the first that we want to hear from you, Olga, is one from your career. What have you got for us?
So I am a stand-up comedian, as many of the listeners surely will know.
Thanks for clarifying.
So I would like to talk about the first time my photograph was in the paper.
Oh, nice. That's
So
a
very
good one.
exciting stuff. I think this was maybe just over a year ago. And it was a very, very exciting time because I thought, well, if I finally made it. I woke up and there's a WhatsApp, and in the WhatsApp, I didn't even recognize the number, and it was just a picture of the newspaper, and in the newspaper was a huge picture of me. And I thought, oh, I've made it. Mom, Dad.
we really should find out
Dinner's
the
on me.
context of what you were in
Right.
the paper
Yes.
for before we
Yeah.
And then
congratulate
what
you.
happens was, okay, so let's backtrack. I'm not going to name names. So what I'm going to say is a certain comedian like messaged me one day and he's like, hey, do you want a gig? 11th of March, let's say. And I was like, oh, I'm free. I'm not going to say no to a gig. 15 minutes, Backyard Comedy Club. Why not? Sounds great.
Okay.
Turns out I signed up to freedom of speech, alt-right comedy night.
No.
And not only that, it was the first one of its kind. And not only that, I was the face of the press release because I was the only woman and the youngest person on the bill.
Oh
and I
my
suppose
God.
my headshot was the nicest. So overnight, I became the face of alt-right comedy.
That should have been how we introed her. That we're joined by
She's
the face of alt-right comedy, Olga Koch. Wow.
You'll know her from the rallies.
It's our favourite fascist, Olga
Garage's
Koch.
right-hand woman. That's
Oh,
awful.
wow.
She's
You
a
could
woman
sue for
doing
that.
it right. Doing the right thing. Olga Koch, everybody.
Oh,
Did you complain or say anything?
Well, I mean, I felt bad because I was like, I did sign up for this, and it wasn't that it was like openly
yeah.
alt-right. It was just that like it's freedom of speech, everyone's views welcome type of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not only that, because it was the first night of its kind, and because like the press release just went out, like that was my first radio appearance as well, where a woman was like, "Do you actually think that you can't say anything you want anymore?" And I was like, "I don't want to. I don't want
mate.
this."
Do you remember what the headline was in the paper?
Oh my god,
It'll be alt-right on the night.
everything's gonna be all right. And so I was darling of the far right,
That's amazing.
Olga.
and I thought.
What
you
a
clearly
pickle.
don't do your research.
I'm so,
We should have Googled the
we really
name.
want to find this now.
Quite a similar thing happened to me like a month ago. I was in the Metro paper in London doing an interview, And you know when they put two articles next to each other?
Yes.
So they'll put it
It
looks
was
like the
unrelated.
headline from one is the photo from the other.
What were
So
you
there is a
with?
big photo of me promoting my tour, and then next to it a massive headline that said "Woman battered with spade" or something. There was a reference to a spade, and a lady had been like hit with a spade on like
And you're
Tottenham
there
Court
grinning
Road.
away.
And then a big smiley photo of me with my tour dates at the bottom. So that's a bit of an issue. It happens
horrible.
a lot. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
Tom.
mine was not even a layout issue.
So I
Mine
got
was-
some weird
You had
people.
no excuse. You were definitely there on that night. So was everybody else doing kind of right? Was there a point where you were watching the
Yeah,
other
who was
acts doing
performing?
their sets and thinking, this seems very of a theme?
Well, I mean, I do think that we understand what night we're talking about right now. Do we? Yeah, but it's just
Yeah.
it's
The
not.
Comedy Store, yeah. Yeah.
Ooh. I can't say that it was like it felt like a rally. I think a lot of
Yeah.
it was just like, let's talk about how Brexit is a good thing, which
Right,
you
okay.
reserve the right to say 100%. I do think it's like it's a great marketing gimmick for them, but I thought that it kind of blew over, especially since I think I'm quite openly open-minded.
Yeah.
But I met a comedian who's again like older and kind of bigger than me and who I've admired throughout the years a month ago, and he was like, yeah, you're one of those alt-right comedians, and I was like, oh shit. I thought that it was just like a one day in the paper type of thing, but oh no.
Oh my goodness. So when was this? This was what year? Like,
I think like just over a year ago when it launched.
right.
Are you
okay.
now in like a alt-right WhatsApp group with all the comedians? The alt-right comics WhatsApp
I mean,
group?
I never thought of it, but now some things are being put into perspective.
How many
Yeah.
alt-right comics? I don't know if I could name that many.
I think Olga
Are you
didn't
the only
realise this
one?
was called That's a First and was like, oh, Britain first, I'm in.
I'm not even from here. Deport me.
You can't name any
Send
names,
me
can you?
Sorry.
You can't name any names about any of the other comics. But how many were there? Alt-right comics there?
I mean, it's a monthly night. It's not just them. It's just that if you were to have those views, they wouldn't be frowned upon at this.
Do you have to do like material about being alt-right, or can you just talk
can
about
you just
anything?
go and talk about anything? But it just happens to be at a night where anything.
Yes,
can
under
be
that umbrella.
discussed.
And I
There's
would
just
say
a big Union Jack behind you while you're doing it.
Whilst you're doing your observational bit about airplane food.
I think that the only thing that is tricky in that kind of environment is that things that you would have possibly said sarcastically would be read in a very straight
sincerely,
way.
yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, you're not laughing for the right reasons
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
I have a joke where I'm like, women can't do computer science because your boobs keep getting on the keyboard, which like is meant to be like, haha. And then
Yeah.
I saw a couple of people in the audience be like, that's right.
Oh,
People heckling. They shouldn't vote either. Yeah, thanks for having me.
you're lucky to be speaking. Oh, my word.
That's
They
great.
hand you a pink microphone when you walk on, but other than that,
What a
pink
lady
microphone.
microphone. One
it's
for
much
the lady
25%
comedians.
smaller.
Oh dear. You guys will get asked all the time, what's the worst gig you've done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And mine straight away, every time, is like that. I'd been going maybe a month or something, and I was still living up north at this point, and they said, oh, we've got this, would you come and do this festival up in the Dales? I was like, brilliant, imagining sort of like Leeds Fest, Glastonbury. Turn up and it's not a festival, it's a rally in the Dales. It's not a tent, it's a gazebo. And it's basically there's a big like American Air Force base in the Dales, and some people have a bit of an issue with it, that our beautiful Yorkshire Dales shouldn't be used to like get involved in politics and war and whatnot. So I'm meant to be emceeing. All the other acts, I'm the only comedy act, everybody else is like a activist campaigraining against the existence of
dictator.
this.
And your whole 15 minutes is on Top Gun and how it's the greatest
I had a
movie
bit.
of all
I had a bit
time.
about how weird Brownies was growing up, and then I had to introduce this woman who was in like a socialist beret, and she came on and she sang a song to the tune of. She sang that song to the tune of "Tidings of Comfort and Joy," but the lyrics were
God.
"Tidings of Trident and Bombs, Trident and Bombs." And I was like, lovely, give it up for Helen. Thank you. Anyway,
Helen.
oh, and they said, they were like, oh, but we'll pay you. And I was like, brilliant. Okay, it's a paid gig. I think it was like my first paid gig.
shit.
And so then I went to go and collect my payment at the end, and she was like, we haven't actually made enough money on our cake stall because all the cakes had anti-bomb things iced on them. So she was like, we have not got enough money to pay you, so
Yeah.
here's a mug. And instead
They didn't even give you cake?
No, I got a mug, which she assured me was worth £5. And it just has on it campaign against American army bases. And I still have my cup of tea in it now to remind myself there will never be as bad a gig as that again. When I die on stage now, the whole time I'm thinking it's not as bad as the gazebo rally.
There was a rally the other day when I was doing a gig in Birmingham, and there was like a climate change rally going on. What was weird about it is they were all like 14 years old. Like everyone was like just kids. And there was one kid who was like at the front on a mic, like shouting, which made me stop because I was like, this is a bit weird that they're all kids.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he'd like watched too many Martin Luther King speeches or something, but the way he was talking, he was saying things
put
like...
on an American accent in Birmingham.
He was saying things like, for centuries they've not listened to us. Don't let them suppress your voice.
Oh my God, I love that.
And then he was like ranting about how it's all the older generation's fault, all this climate, it's all about the older generations. And then he finished, and the lady came up and said, next up to speak is a lady from Greenpeace. And she was quite an old woman. She was like in her 70s. No. And as she was walking up to the podium, they all started booing her.
Oh no.
Like, just because she's
You're
old.
responsible for this.
You can't boo a lady just because she's old.
Booing a lady
It's
of
not
old
her
age.
fault, she's old.
They were booing her because she wouldn't buy them alcohol.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like
God.
a rally. I don't go to enough rallies. Can I come to your next one, Olga?
Yeah. Let
I'll
us
get
know
you in VIP
of your
passes.
alt-right gig list.
I'll get you a mug.
What's the difference between a protest and a rally? Is there a difference?
Good. Yeah. What is the difference?
Is a rally for things and a protest is against things?
Oh, that's a good
Bloody
answer.
good answer,
That's
Olga.
a really good
That's
answer.
why you're on the podcast.
I was going to be like, a protest is where you've got a sign and you're chanting, and a rally is where you've got a £5 mug.
Nailed that, Olga.
Let's get this right, sir. You didn't see three men dressed as clowns take off in a van with a Renaissance painting because you were distracted by, and I quote, a sporty red compact SUV with a bold mesh grille, a sculpted bonnet with sweeping roofline on diamond cut alloys.
And beautiful rear haunches.
So, you saw a Jaguar E-Pace. But what about the clowns?
What clowns?
Jaguar E-Pace, designed to steal attention. Search Jaguar E-Pace.
So we've heard about growing up, Olga, but what about those golden years in between? Let us know one of your first
Olga.
growing up.
I'll start off with a risky one, and I think that it might not go well, and then I'll just go to a safe one.
Okay.
It's another fascist one.
The first time
So I
I
was at a
read
rally.
Mein Kampf. Please cut that out.
Oh, my Lord.
Okay, so when I was a teenager, I moved to the UK from Russia, and I was like super conservative, didn't know anything. My exposure to Western culture was very limited, and if it was, I would watch like Russian dubbed versions of it. So I saw
Right.
Sex and the City in Russian, which was a completely different show. So when I moved and I just started watching movies in English for the first time around 13, 14, I remember watching the movie 10 Things I Hate About You, which is legendary.
Amazing.
And I thought, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to lift one, like everybody loves this film. Everybody in my school is watching this film. I'm going to lift one of the lines from this film and I'm just going to make it my catchphrase and people are going to love me. Like I'm going to remind them of 10 Things I Hate About
Bold
You.
move.
An incredible strategy, right? So I was like, I didn't know anyone. So I was like, I'm going to be that girl. So I'm not assuming. So you've seen 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yes.
Yeah, a long time ago.
It's Taming of the Shrew, but
Yeah.
in an American high school.
And with Heath Ledger.
Yes, it's a great film. And so at some point that there's these like lame nerds having a party, and it's not even a party; it's like a get together social, and then
It's a rally.
It's in a gazebo. So they have like a huge group of cool kids come and crash it, and the way they crash it is they like ring the doorbell, and then they obviously storm in, and they ring the doorbell, and the nerd is like, the nerd hears the doorbell, and he says, "That must be Nigel with the brie." And I thought it was the funniest.
You chose that line.
And I was like, that's me. I'm going to be Olga. That must be Nigel with a brie. So any door knock, if a person's phone rang in class, I'd be like, that must be Nigel with a brie.
Like you're already not going to be, like people are going to be like, that's the Russian new girl.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, with
but-
covered in leopard print.
Yeah, yeah.
What was the best possible outcome of this for you? Did you want people to be like, that's a niche reference?
Yeah.
I really hoped that people were like, oh, that's 10 Things I Hate About You. That girl's so fucking
Oh,
cool.
I see, right. Like a really niche, yeah.
And what was the success rate of this strategy?
Absolutely 0.0.
How quickly did you have to leave the school?
I got transferred shortly after.
Transferred.
But at some point,
They came in to take you out. Hey, that must be Nigel. Come with her. Just put a blanket over her. Come on. That must be. Just going down the corridor.
Definitely somewhere there's people from your school being like, we went to school and there was this new girl. She came from Russia, but she would only quote one line from the film 10
Maybe
things
they
I hate
thought
about
that's
you.
But
the
they
only-
didn't even know that much. They were like, she came from Russia, and
Just kept banging on about Brie.
Yeah.
maybe it's like an expression in Russia that she like translated verbatim.
Yeah. That's all she
Google
can say
Translate
in
got
English.
it wrong. She thought she was saying, please can I go to the toilet? But she was going, that must be Nigel with the Brie.
And because it was a boarding school, I had
It was
a
a
roommate.
boarding school?
Yeah, I had a roommate,
Oh.
and my roommate had to sit me down, and she's like, "You gotta stop."
Listen, you gotta stop.
Like she watched the
People are
movie.
talking.
She watched the movie with me. She's like, I know where this is from, and it's not that funny.
Oh no.
It's horrible. It was my first foray into comedy, and I thought maybe I should start writing my own material.
My dad had a similar chat with me after my first gig. I know where this is from, but it's not funny.
It's not very funny. You need to stop.
You need to stop.
Oh my Lord.
Where did you go to school?
In Surrey, next to Thorpe Park.
Next to Thorpe Park.
Next to Thorpe Park. We
Right.
saw Thorpe Park out of our back window, but we weren't allowed
This
to go.
sounds like a weird dream. Like
Yeah.
Russian
I
girl
was
in
at
a
a
boarding
school
school
in a
next to
Thorpe
Thorpe Park chatting about Brie repeatedly.
I'm so I realized.
Was it
this
like a
is-
fancy posh school?
yeah,
Right.
yeah. It was also an American
Imagine that
school.
makes it worse.
So we were like pretending to be American in it. So we had like a cheerleading team and a lacrosse team.
Yeah.
And all our teachers were American. We're doing the SATs, but it was in the middle of Surrey, next
Oh, it
to
was like one of
fucking
those
Staines.
international schools.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
I
the
see,
whole
okay.
thing was really surreal.
Okay.
Like we would go to Staines, but we'd act as if it was an American high school.
Brooklyn.
We'd be like, oh, what dresses are we gonna wear for homecoming? And a bunch of like local Staines people were
Did
like,
you have
the
a
fuck are you
prom?
talking about? Yeah, we had prom, we had homecoming.
I
we
wish I had a prom.
pep rallies.
we had a prom, but I don't think it was anything like what actual.
It was in a
you have
gazebo in the
corsages?
Dales.
Yeah, he didn't do that weird thing where he stands behind you and
Yeah.
holds you around the waist from behind,
Yeah, like
which
That's
is so
what I-
strange.
Spooning. It's
That's what
vertical
I
It's so
spooning.
wanted.
strange. Yeah, a corsage is where you wear a big flower on your wrist,
Yes.
isn't it?
I wanted
yeah.
to be picked up in a pink limousine, taken to the local town hall.
the dream of every young
And then
man.
Spike the Punch.
Yeah.
What?
Spike the punch.
Yeah, you
Oh, I
were.
thought you said spank the punch. I was like, is this another
Spike
quote?
the punch. Did you spike the punch, Olga?
From She's the Man. Do you not remember? It was in a
the
deleted
Punch.
scene.
You should work for Blockbuster. And that's
No,
a dated reference.
I really do wish
Love
we had
film.
a more American approach.
Yeah, we call it disco, Olga, over here. Disco,
Yeah, school
disco.
disco, and you have a big sherbet like straw thing that you
yeah.
buy from the tuck shop, and you down that all in one.
Yeah.
You had weird drinks that looked like they were in a yogurt pot, and you had to pierce with a straw,
Yeah.
and you just get off your face on e-numbers.
And then
from
you
that.
finger a girl and your mum picks you up. That's the school disco.
Do you remember those like dancing sunflowers they used to have at the side of the school disco?
Yeah, yeah.
Like a little like dancing, and it would
You're
play
looking
the
at me
guitar.
as if I do. Absolutely no,
It gets
I don't.
weirder. We used to have our school discos done by a bloke called DJ Superworm, and
Super worm.
and he used to have thinking back, it's so this is going to go a little bit R. Kelly documentary now, but he used to play this game where like he'd pick someone, the light would just suddenly stop on someone, and that person
had to kiss him.
had to stand against the wall, and he got a water gun and went into the microphone. Hasta la vista, baby. And then drenched you with the water gun. No, I liked a school disco.
I still go to them.
Do you request all the songs that were played at the time as well? Like that one that was like, brush your hair, do the skis.
Or Year 3000
Superman.
by Busted.
Yes.
Oh my God, busted.
Absolute tune.
What was that? That was your first. What was that classed as your first? That the story about Nigel.
First catchphrase, I guess.
First catchphrase.
Yeah, 'cause everybody has
That well-known
multiple.
relatable material.
My first catchphrase.
It's an international boarding school.
My first school mishap.
I'll tell you a story of my first kiss
Oh, I
God.
love this.
It's gonna get a bit hot under the collar in here.
in a very big way. I classify this as my first kiss. It wasn't factually my first kiss, but my first kisses were all like in a dark nightclub with people who I would not be able to identify in a lineup. So this is the first person that I would
Classy.
recognize.
Classic. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
So how old are you?
Thanks, Mom. I was 17, late
I think
bloomer.
this is a story not for us, but for the authorities, perhaps.
no.
I think you're on the wrong show. We'll just record it and we'll pass it straight on. Great.
Late bloomer, 17. I was very fat up until I was 16. Summer 16 to 17, lost a bunch of weight. And 17, I was like, let's catch up for lost time.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Feeling
So,
myself.
Is that when the leopard prince died?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, showing some skin,
Love
rolling
it.
up the uniform skirt, losing top buttons of shirts, all that.
Yes. Love that.
So we're in Greece, school trip to Greece.
Oh, okay.
School trip to Greece.
My mind
trip
went to the musical.
Yeah.
We're in Greece.
Wow.
I'm singing.
We
You're
went
the
to
one that I want.
Wookie Hole in the West Country.
Yeah.
Greece.
A school trip to Greece.
Athens, Greece.
Athens as well.
Shit the bed.
Is this not relatable? It's
You got to
oh my God.
remember that Maisie grew up in a coal mine, so just bear that in mind.
I'd love to try and break the northern stereotypes, but I was trying to think of our school trips, and it was to Malham Cove. And the most exciting thing they said was that, did you know a scene of Harry Potter was filmed here? And the scene in Harry Potter lasts literally 7 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
So you're in Greece.
We're in Greece,
Yeah.
Athens, Greece.
Athens, Greece.
So I've been flirting this whole time with a boy. I want to name him. Can I name? Can I
Name
first
him,
name him?
Olga.
Is that allowed?
We can give him a nickname,
Name and
maybe,
shame.
a code name.
DJ Super
Let's
One.
go Shrant.
Shran.
Grant. Okay, just say the name. Who cares?
Okay.
So
Grant.
Grant and I flirting a lot, holding hands a lot, but both of us, I think, didn't have enough experience to just go for it. So there was just a lot of like, let's hold hands and like rub against each other and like
Ooh.
stand, like when you like stand real close as if there's like a line or a crowd around you, but there
Yeah.
isn't a line or a crowd. It's just,
Right.
there's so little space.
Yeah.
Looking at all these kind of just like antique ruins, thinking about democracy and shit.
Yeah.
Beautiful setting. Beautiful.
Democracy, which you would later go on to hate.
So it's the last night, and both of us are kind of feeling the pressure because if it's now or never.
Okay.
It's now or never. We got to do
But
it.
surely you're going back to school, aren't you?
Oh, but he is in love with another girl, but that girl is on a different Greece trip. So I have just
Oh my
this
God.
week to get
You
this
just have
done.
this week. Okay.
It's a
'Cause I was
Greek tragedy.
Oh,
Big time.
Good one. Well done. That was really good.
This is a cultured podcast.
So did he, you say you went to your school, but you were
Yeah.
at a girls' school. So would you have
It wasn't a girls'
Oh, it
school.
wasn't.
No.
It wasn't a girls' school. Oh.
Yeah, and I still didn't get laid. Thank you, Maisie.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Maisie.
Oh, okay. I'm really
So
sorry.
last night.
Last night, and we're feeling the pressure. And the
building.
thing is, everyone in the trip knows that.
Really?
He's coming back. He's fallen back in love with Charlotte. This is her. Like, this is both of our last chances. Like, people are at dinner just staring at us, being like, guys,
When's it gonna
just
happen?
down the tzatziki and get this
Oh,
over with.
Yeah, yeah,
I love
yeah.
it.
And so we're standing outside of his hotel room,
Yeah.
and we're looking at each other. And he says, one kiss. And in my mind, looking back at it,
He
I was
says
like,
one kiss.
and I was like, are you haggling me down from a hand job? Like, what is happening?
Oh, God.
And why is it, why the one kiss? And then we like agree which side the other person's going to lean towards. So the noses
Wow,
don't
a bit
clash.
of advanced planning.
bit of,
just do
bit
the
of admin. Get the admin out of the way.
Oh. off the top, out
Yeah,
of
you need
the
a
way.
strategy.
Yeah.
And we go for it. It lasts maybe 4 seconds, and then I feel some stuff in my belly, and it's not butterflies, it's a little something else. So I say,
Oh my
so
God.
I just like detach myself from his
no.
mouth. I run as fast as I can upstairs to my hotel room, and I vomit directly into the toilet because I was so nervous. And I
Oh
was
my
so
God.
excited,
God.
and I was just so overwhelmed with emotion just because I got to kiss Grant.
That you vomited. What an effect to have had on a lady.
I suppose it's better than just kissing and then you just running away.
Well, yeah, because I mean, I say like I vomited when I had my first kiss, and people are like, "Oh my God," in his face, "Oh my God," in front of
Yeah.
him. Like, no, I'm classy. I did.
Because you were just so nervous.
I was so nervous, and I was so.
But it
excited.
was a good kiss. It wasn't vomiting because it was vile.
No. I mean, when you both have tzatziki, it cancels each other out.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
and it was truly magic. Gail came back and he was like, I really like Charlotte. I'm gonna try pursue that. And Charlotte was not
What?
interested.
So it was just a
she
holiday
wasn't
romance.
interested.
She was not interested.
Serves him right.
So the whole thing was that like I tried to bribe another guy to date Charlotte and kiss her at the winter ball in front of Grant. So Grant would be like, oh, well, Charlotte's taken. I guess I'll take Olga. But then Charlotte was taken and he's like, I'm still not interested.
Oh no.
This is so dramatic.
It was
It's
really
like made in
Literally.
Chelsea or something.
yeah.
Grant and Olga.
Grant and Olga.
Where's
And
he now?
He has a girlfriend now, and he posts her on his Instagram stories. And every time he does, I'm I'm like, who the fuck is she?
You troll him.
Oh, it sounds like you're still into Grant.
Oh, big time. Big time.
She just
Well, if you're
comments
listening,
going,
Grant,
one
get in
kiss.
touch.
Yeah.
kiss.
Eileen Wright.
Oh my goodness.
I remember when I was like 10, talking of vomiting, being so angry about something that I was sick.
You
Not-
vomited.
yeah.
That's amazing.
Vomited through anger
No.
when I was
incredible.
10. Yeah.
What can you remember what you were angry
It was
about?
about I had a toy that I was playing with broke and my dad couldn't fix it and I was so angry that it broke and I just threw it out.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah.
I love that.
Vomiting through anger is
I don't think I've
amazing.
ever been pushed to vomit from an emotion.
Really?
No, it's just been regurgitated alcohol, I think.
yeah.
So no, like no break. You've never like vomited after being sad after a breakup?
No.
Oh wow.
No.
Is that normal?
Yeah, you're so sad. You'd like you dry heave.
You're
and stuff.
sick. Oh.
Oh, Olga, this is getting a bit serious
Am
now.
I feel
Post breakup Olga is just a heaving woman. I mean, like, why has he left?
Could the reason he left might be to do with the vomiting?
Yeah. Please don't leave me.
Constant heaving.
you told me you had no gag reflex.
Jesus.
You've come across so well on this podcast. You've just said catchphrases, then been alt-right, and then vomited in every lover's face. You are a catch, Olga Koch.
I'm so sorry.
This is amazing.
I'm here to
Right.
make you guys look good.
Before you start heaving, we'll quickly get this out of the way.
Can we get a bucket for Olga, please?
Let's get this right, sir. You didn't see three men dressed as clowns take off in a van with a Renaissance painting because you were distracted by, and I quote, a sporty red compact SUV with a bold mesh grille, a sculpted bonnet with sweeping roofline on diamond cut alloys.
And beautiful rear haunches.
So, you saw a Jaguar E-Pace. But what about the clowns?
What clowns?
Jaguar E-Pace, designed to steal attention. Search Jaguar E-Pace.
We can't ask you to come on and share your darkest secrets without revealing some of our own. So what we have here is a lucky dip jar. Olga, you see that?
Uh-oh.
We've got a big jar in the studio. We're going to take one out one by one. I'll go first.
I'm very excited for this. So these can be firsts from anything.
I can't get my hand
Anything
in the
at
jar.
all.
We might need a
Can't
bigger
get his
jar.
fat hand in the jar.
There we go. First night out. It was
Where did
probably
you grow up, Tom?
Guildford.
Guildford.
We had
Oh
this
my God, they have a Jamie's Italian.
They do, yeah. Actually, they don't
Along
anymore.
with
It's
a
shut
good
down.
60 other towns. Oh yeah, they've gone
They've
tits
all
up,
gone.
haven't
They've
they?
all gone to shit.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Serves him right for
I
having
thought that's the
taken
only thing you
choices.
know about Guildford.
Yeah, a
We have
great
a lot of
Jamie's
things.
Italian.
We've got a Boots as well.
I watched Slumdog Millionaire in Guildford.
At the Odeon.
Great
believe so.
segue from Jamie's Italian.
I used to work at the Odeon. How about that?
Did
What
you?
year did you watch Slumdog? It might have been when I was working there.
Could be.
I feel like that
Imagine
was
if
around
you
the
two
time.
met before and it was
Imagine
just
if I've served you Ben
It was
and
like
Jerry's.
2009ish, probably.
That would have been around the
Boom.
time I was there.
that's amazing.
So I
Do
think
you
the
see a dry heaving girl?
yeah.
do you have any films that contain the phrase "That's Nigel with the brie"? So was your first night
Well,
out
no,
in Guildford?
it would have been Guildford, but there's only one nightclub in Guildford called Casino.
Love
but back
it.
then it was called Harper's because it was owned by a guy called, I think it's like Derek Harper or something. He was like a
Oh.
local gangster. Do
A
you know about this?
gangster in
No.
Guildford.
Yeah, like a big one. Yeah.
In Harper's.
Oh, there was a night. You might have gone to this called Monday Night Guildford. 'Cause
That's so imaginatively
you grew up in the
titled.
area.
a great.
Did you ever go to
description.
that?
Don't think so.
It was on Monday nights
in Guildford.
in Guildford.
Okay.
And it was where all the like students used to go. It was like a big student night in Guildford.
Is there a uni in
is there a
Guildford?
university there?
Yeah, University of Surrey.
But there's one nightclub.
Yeah, there's
Imagine
one
going to
nightclub,
uni and there
yeah.
being one nightclub.
I must be awful. It must be a bad place to go to uni.
I having gone to university in America it's all house parties and frat parties. So like a lot of universities won't even have one club.
Yeah.
What?
And because you need to be
But that's
21
'cause
to
you
get
can't-
in.
Yeah, 21.
I remember
So-
there was a Polish news agent next to a casino that he used to sell alcohol and cigarettes to kids. Like he
Oh,
didn't
there's
care
always
about
one. There's always
he would just
one.
sell, and I think that's gone. And I think he's gone down for it. But for
because
years.
he was selling them to underage people.
Yeah, for years. Everyone used to go there.
Okay, did you have a like nightclub photographer? Because my favorite thing to ever see online is like those like the 15 to 18 nights, or like those, but the photographs of that, like the nightclub photos of
that is exactly what happened the other day, right? My friend, this must have come up again on like Facebook memories or something.
Yeah.
But he sent me like 5 or 6 of those nightclub photos of us when we were 18 in this casino place.
And are they all like them weird super high res
it's
photos?
me not having photos with any of my friends. It's just me with a selection of different women. So all 5 pictures I've just with different, but it not in a cool way. It looks like I've just gone out of my way to have as many photos with as many girls as possible. So I don't know any of them. It's just me like bolting myself into a group,
but like too scared to touch their waist, so like the hand just
with
like
the same facial expression in all of them.
I'm going into the lucky dip now. I picked out one, and it was first time you stalked someone, and I don't ever recall. I feel like the producers have a certain opinion of me here because I've picked another one and it says first catfish. So people here clearly don't believe that I make real friends and relationships. It must all be
well, you're a well-known
stalking
pest,
and catfish.
Maisie.
Maisie the pest, yeah. Well, I remember like when everybody first started getting Facebook and MySpace and that lot, there was a fair bit of catfishing going around in my town.
Big time.
Did this happen with you as well?
Yeah.
So this isn't. I didn't catfish anyone, but there was a girl in my class called Caitlin, and she was absolutely adamant that she had this boyfriend, and we were like, "Well, who's your boyfriend?" And then it was the classic, like, "Oh, you don't know him," and you're like,
He goes
"Well,
to another school in Canada."
yeah, he doesn't go here." And you'd be like, "Okay, well, what school does he go to?" And there was only like sort of 3 or 4 schools in our thingy, and she was like, "It's a new school out in the Dales." And we were like,
classic,
"What's the school called, Caitlin?" Like she created a whole like Facebook profile, put herself into a relationship with this thing, and then like but all of the photos were like stock. Like you just Google.
Do they all have watermarks?
Yeah,
on
you
them?
just Google like
Jeremy Shutterstock.
It was the photo of Tom from MySpace.
yeah.
It's all different stock photos.
Yeah. And it was quite sad because she genuinely carried it on for a good like 6 months,
Are
even
they
though
still together?
everybody figured out within like 2 weeks that's he's not real.
horrible,
He's not.
isn't it?
And then it just got awkward because you'd be like getting changed for PA and we'd be chatting about something, and then she'd be like, "Oh yeah, my boyfriend says that all the time," and everyone would just be like,
I feel like that happens a
not
lot at
true.
school. People making up.
I
remember guys making up like. Because it was the easiest thing in the world to just pretend you had like a holiday romance or something.
Yeah.
Like, I went to Spain with when you're like 14.
Yeah.
I met this local girl. Because no one can prove it or disprove it.
No.
Big one. I had a friend called Charlie, and he said he lost his virginity to a girl at his tennis club, and we asked him what her name was, and he said Charlie.
That's my favourite thing though, is like the bullshit claims people come out with. There was a guy, Will Bagley, he said that he saved the sugar babes from a capsized banana boat on holiday in Tenerife. And he said he got a Blue Peter badge for it. He was like, "I've got a Blue Peter badge because I saved the sugar babes from a capsized banana boat." And we were all just like, "That is bullshit, Will Bagley." I love like the amount of bullshit claims that came out at school. Brilliant.
Oh, that's
Brilliant.
incredible.
And also, when I finally did have a holiday romance, it was with somebody who was so significantly fitter than me that when I came back,
That's very sweet.
that when I came back and told everyone, it sounded like I was that person just making it all. They were okay, sure, he looked like Josh Duhamel.
It's quite hard to, if you have an actual story, to make it sound like a real one.
Yeah,
it's just a minefield of bullshit, isn't it?
Yeah, there was a girl at my school, Lucy. She claimed that her dad invented the phrase "no shit Sherlock" and they were still living off the royalties for
it. Living off the royalties.
You've got to respect somebody who's like, that's
so
a decent
good.
We had a
claim
guy
that people
I remember
believe.
who claimed that him and his mate invented robotics. You know, the robotic dance moves.
That's amazing.
They've been around
Every
since
time
like
Mo
the
Farah's
80s.
doing it, he's like, "That's the royalties."
Yeah.
I love
coming
the
in.
idea of like
Robotics.
someone having such a nuanced understanding of copyright law to be like royalty.
Yeah.
At 14, being like, "Yeah, we all live off the royalties because my dad invented
Anytime
no
someone
shit
says it, he
Sherlock."
gets 100 quid.
Yeah.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time. Oh, I'll tell you first time I saw someone else's genitals. Are you ready?
Yes.
So this is we're talking real life. We're not talking on screen.
Yeah, that doesn't count. If you just watched embarrassing
flesh.
bodies and saw a ball sack with a rash, that doesn't count.
Live rather than pre-recorded.
Mama downloaded some porn off of LimeWire back in the day.
LimeWire. Wow.
So let's talk first ever real life genitals. Huge story, to be completely honest. Okay. So I'm in high school around the same time that Harry Potter is pretty fucking big.
Right.
It's still pretty fucking big now, to be honest.
Fair enough. Have you heard?
This is anytime post 2001.
I love female authors. Have you read?
Right, yeah.
So I'm a feminist. So, and then like all the kids in Harry Potter are growing up and they like want to be taken seriously. So what do we hear? That Daniel Radcliffe is in a play called Equus where his dick is out and he fucks a horse.
I went to that.
Oh
Wait,
my God.
so all the girls in my class are like, we're pooling our money.
I remember it. Like it was so.
I had the same. I had the same thoughts.
Yeah. So you better believe that the first ever penis I saw was Daniel Radcliffe's in the West End.
How old were you?
Like 15, 14, 15, something like that.
That was the
is
first
brilliant.
penis you saw.
In real life, yeah.
That's such
Did
a
you
good
never see
claim.
like when you were growing up, like your dads or anything like that?
No,
Tom,
and like
what the?
No, but like not in a weird
I
way, but
suppose
like
I
you
saw
sort of
my
accidentally
brothers
saw.
when I like
you know what I mean?
bathed my brother, but that's
Yeah.
When
not
you
a thing.
bathed your brother?
Everyone's had bath with Olga's brother. I don't believe that
That's
was
one of the lucky dips.
first.
First time you had a
He's
bath
10 years
with
younger
Olga.
than me. I was like as a baby,
Oh,
as a
okay,
tiny
fair.
baby.
Surely you saw a penis before you were 15.
I mean, I'm not sure where I would say, like, yeah, just my
I
brothers.
don't think I saw a real penis
Yeah.
live in the flesh till I was about 15.
Wow.
No, older. I didn't
I
kiss
saw
anyone till I
one
was
at,
16.
like,
So.
Boom.
Two. Maybe that's a reflection on my childhood rather than.
Yeah.
but you saw
Are you
your
okay?
own.
Do you need counselling?
Yeah.
No, but also, like, you would, I mean, in changing rooms, like, you'd see naked girls, but you wouldn't
yeah.
see naked boys.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. What was the verdict on Dan
I mean,
Rad's
we got
Willy?
very cheap tickets, so it was very, very far away, and we could not stop giggling. And
Really?
obviously,
How long is he naked in the play for?
like, yeah, it's
Couple of hours?
lots of stage time, lots of penis stage time. But also, it's like obviously it's shriveled and like cold and
Yeah,
you're on
yeah.
stage, so
What
it's
if
just
he-
more of like a bed of balls that's hanging around
Yeah.
next to a bunch of horses.
The horse's cock, on the other hand.
But there must be like
That is
a
the
risk
worst
of
animal to
adrenaline.
stand next to on stage.
Yeah,
with
it
your
is.
cock out the
Yeah.
Not
hole.
doing yourself
I've
any
got to
favors.
compete with that.
I'd be going, can we just make it a dog? Does it have to be a horse?
But what if he gets sort of like a sudden rush of adrenaline from being
Like he
on
sees
stage?
me in the stalls and is like, Olga's here. Hello.
Wow.
You also, a couple of years ago, Orlando Bloom did a play in the West End where he had his cock out, and I went to see that as well.
Tom, just
Yeah,
going around the
great.
How does
West
that
End
compare?
chasing
But you don't see
famous
it.
cocks.
You don't see it chasing cock. You don't see it full on. You see him from behind, but you could see it like swinging in between his
no,
legs.
that's a prosthetic.
Like when you open the indoor of a grandfather clock. And it's
I was there the night that I was there the night that Katy Perry went, and they're dating, aren't they?
yeah.
They're engaged?
And she whoops from the audience when he took his clothes off.
Of course she did. That's a
Classic
very Katy Perry.
Perry.
She went,
So-
woo!
Classic Perry.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird that there was a moment in British history where everyone was hyped to go and see former child star Daniel Radcliffe's penis on stage? Like,
Yeah.
I remember that being a thing at school. Like, can we believe it?
I mean, the boy's all grown up. I mean, there's no better way to tell the media that you were all grown up than to get your dick out and fuck a horse. on
That's
the
where
West
Macaulay
End.
Culkin went wrong, is he didn't get his dick out and fuck a horse. Listen, thank you so much, Olga.
Thank you so much for having me.
You've been sensational. We've seen many new sides to you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Big thanks to our guest Olga Koch today. Make sure you listen to next week's episode where we're joined by Reece James. In the meantime, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
I don't know where we went all one show, sorry. That's a wrap on That's a First.